Buttice with an astrology update for the new moon in Pisces on March 13th. And when I was really kind of diving in and meditating on this new moon, I was really getting some downloads about it. And I think it's a really exciting time. We have basically this really intense activation of Piscean energy on this new moon. We have the sun conjunct the moon, right? Which is a new moon, right? Which is their exact same degrees. And then we also have in Pisces, the Neptune conjunct Venus. And this is a stellium, they call it in astrology, where it's like a very intense activation of energy. But to specifically have Venus conjunct Neptune, which are the two very potent, powerful archetypal energies of, Venus is kind of like earthly love. It's like relationships, beauty, taste, refinement, art. Neptune is deep, high level, spiritual, unconditional love. It's like the Jesus Christ energy, unification, beyond spirit realm, moving beyond our bodies. But they're kind of the two octaves of the same energy. So it's really, and it's all in Pisces, right? So this is like a deep activation of Pisces energy. And so, and for this all to be happening right now, I really what I feel on a deep level is that this is really this activation of, and it's a completion. It's a completion of, a cycle. We are just on the edge of spring. And so this is the end of the very, very, very end of the zodiac. That's what Pisces is. It's the very end of the zodiac, and it holds all the signs in it. So we can really begin to ask ourselves, like, what is completing right now? What is actually being fully ready to be released? And this is really whatever began last March. Right? So that's when the Rona really started, really proliferating, really started getting ground, right? That's just last March. And now it's finally starting to kind of wane, right? And so much happened for us all spiritually in this astrological year, right? With the seasons, right? We're going spring to spring now. And so it's really this more than the turn of the year of 2021. This is actually when there's going to be a real shift in energy. And what I find really beautiful is that there's this beautiful stellium in Pisces. And what that's really, really indicating to me is that this is a very powerful time of really harnessing and cultivating great spiritual energy. And really coming back to the self and asking yourself in a deep way, what is completing? What is completing? What is fully ready to be released? We went through this giant cycle through 2020 where so many of us traveled to the depths of our shadows. And if you're an empath, and you're sensitive, you really went to probably some of the darkest places you've ever been in yourself. I know I did, right? And I personally am feeling these days like there's an emergence, a release, a rebirth, and I would almost even say a baptism that we're kind of in the midst of gonna be experiencing on this new moon. It's a really, really beautiful time to start to really begin to harness and cultivate and open up to our deep intuitive awareness, our psychic abilities, the spirit realm. And, that's really what I am feeling in a very deep, deep way, is that, as the age of Aquarius has kind of initiated itself, and we've got these new frequencies that have come in, it's kind of a futurism. We've got a new futurism frequency that is on the horizon, because so much became decimated of the old in 2020. And it's really exciting. We're on this edge of the new, of this futuristic new. And what is going to be happening with that is that there's going to be a new integrated, heightened level of intuitive awareness that is going to become more mainstream in our culture. And so if you're empathic, you probably are starting to notice that your psychic abilities, if you've been paying attention, are starting to increase somewhat, because that's happening the frequencies on the planet are starting to rise. for me personally, in the past year, my psychic abilities have like expanded massively, like they magnanimously, they exponentially grown, and like lots of prophetic wisdom, prophetic dreams, deep intuitive awareness about people that goes way beyond intuition. Futures, being able to predict future events, this is what's happened to me, and it's because I've really this last year, I've started to really, in a deeper way than I ever have before, begin to trust the information that I am getting, and and not only that, but value it. These are the most important pieces to the other side of empathic awareness, which is what I'm calling empathic awareness, which is a new kind of a heightened awareness that is going to be kind of coming into our culture, that is really beginning to be acted upon, because it's one thing, and you know, it's like, there are so many of us empaths out there, you know, people that are, you know, psychic, but we've never had any place in our culture to reveal that, or to be seen, or to be revered. And it hasn't been something that's really been valued, right? It's not been valued. It's not really been valued monetarily at all. It's not been valued by the people around us. It's like we've always had to prove ourselves, or it's kind of like this kitschy thing. But now that the frequencies are shifting, and everybody is starting to become a little bit more heightened, intuitive, heightened awareness, and empathy is actually becoming more of a mainstream idea. I mean, literally, if you look on Google, like if you look at, there's a chart on Google with the name empathy, and it like spikes in 8 years ago, the word spiked like 500%. Like, it's a new kind of consciousness, but after 2020, it's massively a new kind of consciousness now. And so, you know, so for us empaths, we're like finally able to kind of start coming out of the closet and start to claim our truth, claim our gifts, claim our power. And what that means is that we must begin to start trusting the information that we are getting in a much deeper way, which means we must begin to act on what we are getting. And I will say personally that the bigger steps you take, the more risks you take in service of that vision, the stronger and stronger the gifts become, and the more in tune with the energetic frequencies that are emerging naturally, the flow, you will become. And that's where true abundance and really this alignment with the flow, the light, wherever consciousness is heading, that is, as empaths, that is a gift of ours. So, that alongside trusting it, alongside valuing it, which means really surrounding yourself with people that do value it, and you yourself claiming your value despite any other circumstances of people around you not. There has to be this knowing within the self that begins to emerge, and that means surrounding yourself with people that value what you do, and allowing that to be something that that flowers. Because when we're around people that don't really fully see our gifts, or that we have to convince, or that we have to, it kind of diminishes our light. But when we start to surround ourselves with people that really understand what we're talking about and really value what we are offering, in so many ways, it helps us begin to hold our own. It helps us to begin to create a stronger energetic boundary. And it really is what is going to be establishing greater empathic awareness on the planet, is as empaths, psychic psi-visionists, I'm calling it, we begin to increase our energy fields so that this new frequency can begin to proliferate on the planet. The other piece that I really think that is happening is that as the empathic awareness begins to increase, and we really use this new moon to harness and cultivate and open to and release whatever energy, power, love that resides within us. The way that I'm feeling about this personally is that having gone through this full year is that when we really, you know, Pisces is really Jesus Christ energy, but Jesus Christ, the person, Jesus, was just somebody that was completely in the flow, which means they allowed their light to completely shine. They had no shadow. They had nothing holding them back, right? They didn't have this kind of shame or darkness or unworthiness that was kind of blocking their full light to be able to shine. And, you know, Pisces as its highest expression, at its highest expression is this heightened expression of spiritual light, you know, being able to shine our light in the world. And I really think we've gone through this such intense, powerful cleansing through this astrological cycle, right? From Aries to Pisces, from, you know, from when spring started from last year to now. And, you know, now we're at this point where we're at this final point where it's like our light, this is how I feel, is that I have traveled so deeply into the darkness, and I've really worked through so much of those dark spaces within myself where all this shame and unworthiness and powerlessness and codependency and you know, self-hatred, like everything we've been conditioned into, right? In this hierarchical old school way to like keep ourselves small so that we don't shine our light. I feel that I've traveled through it, and now I'm really ready to open up to this kind of Jesus energy that is like this emergence of the light, this baptism of new spirituality, of a new age of spiritualism, of the era of the empath. I really believe we're at the dawn of the era of the empath here. And this is the download. This is what my guides have told me, is that we're entering the era of the empath. And this new moon is providing a true initiation into that new era. So, you know, whatever, you know, it's really this idea too, that there is nothing else. To go deeper into this idea, it's really this idea that there is nothing outside of ourselves, because that's really how the shadow is created, right? It's this idea that these things outside of us, whatever they are, have power over us, and it makes us insecure. It makes us fearful. It makes us dim ourselves. It makes us not being able to embody our full power, our full energy. But when we start to really bring all that back into the self, and we start to bring that power inward, and we start to allow the light within to fully emerge, there is no shadow, there is no darkness, there's no place inside of us because it's really that projection of power outwards, right? In whatever way you want to look at it. It can be hatred, it's pointing the finger, it's whatever, right? It's whatever it is, it's projecting your power outwards, and essentially it boils down to fear, right? Whatever we project our power onto means that we become smaller, and we give that power, that thing has power, right? So when we take that power back, we're basically taking our light back, we're taking our consciousness back, and we've traveled through it, we've gone to the pit of it, and we're starting to embody the light, and it's really this idea around not projecting hatred anymore and outward at all, and really becoming what we wish to see in the world, and heightened levels of intuitive awareness that are going to come with that. It's really this Jesus, Jesus was, the ultimate mystic, the ultimate magician, the ultimate witch, the ultimate sorcerer. He's over time has been, whatever he's been made into, he'd be like, oh God, now, right? But, back then he was a wild, rebel, mystical motherfucker, you know what I mean? So, it's that ascension of kind of energy that's really and it really is this light on the inside, whatever you want to call it, however you want to look at it, but it's really the stardust inside of us. We are made of stars, and it's allowing our own sun to exist within us and not projecting it outwards anymore, and finding the darkness outside of ourselves to give that away, and, looking upon the world with that love. Of course, we're not perfect, okay? We're human, right? But even Jesus was not perfect, all right? He was not. So, we can't just say I'm just like this perfect being of love and light, and I'm a nun and I'm a saint and all these things. But really, I was reading some definition, and it really hit me the other day of what a saint is. And it was about this story about this kid who was like, went to some church, and the pictures of the saints were on these windows, and the light shined through the beautiful light shined through, right? And so when somebody asked him what a saint was, and he said, a saint is someone that lets the light shine through. And I thought that was really beautiful. And it's really like, that really is it, it's, and if I really go into the people that I personally feel are like modern day saints, like that really let their light shine, these are the people I focus on very deeply nowadays. I really focus on who is letting their light shine, their brilliance emerge, right? Without hatred, without blame, without needing to put others down, right? It just lets themselves shine, And the people I always come back to, I really come back to Oprah. I come back to Beyonce. I come back to, we all have our people. We all have things. Elon Musk is one of them. But these are people that just shine without needing to put down others. And that's really the energy we're kind of coming into. This is that great spiritual energy, that shining without having to project darkness onto anything else is really what is going to uplift the entire consciousness of this planet. And that's really the kind of energy I've been in really lately. And it's every single day that I kind of make a dedication to be in that. I feel my consciousness rising. I feel my psychic awareness rising, and new levels of guidance, of understanding, of consciousness kind of come to me. So yeah, but I hope some of you are getting something out of this. I know it's like really loaded, but this is just what the downloads that I've been getting. And I really do feel that this is a really powerful and magical new moon, where, we have the power to really open up to a light, to release whatever is ready to be released from 2020, the cycle of 2020 into 2021. And this is kind of like the final end, and it's kind of like this beautiful, it's just all love. It's just deep, powerful, mystical light. And letting that light in, letting whatever darkness is left to release, and kind of allowing ourselves to be baptized into the new era, the new age, the age of the empath, the age of higher psychic levels of attunement, higher energetic frequencies. This is the future, and this is what I'm starting to see and understand. And it's, for the first time in a long time, I can see a light of the future. I can see that the world, for a long time, I was really depressed about the world, and I don't feel that way anymore. I feel I feel that there's a big shift happening, and that consciousness is changing. And, as we're exploring outer space, we're simultaneously exploring inner space. They're two areas of the same. They're two opposing energies that are of the same energy. So the farther out we go, the farther in we go, and it's going to start showing up everywhere and everything. And so I'm helping to lead the fray, lead the pack. So I have a class that I've created, an online course with. My whole website's about to relaunch. That is it's about establishing your energetic field for the empath. And that's really what the work I'm going to be doing into the future is, really about empowering the empath, empowering this psychic energy in this new age, so that we can all begin to open up to the light even deeper and more. So I hope that this gave you all something to think about, and deep bow and love to you. And deep bow to you in this era of, I'm just getting emotional, but this was such an intense, I really do feel that there's a shift happening, there's a shift happening, and we're at this completion of whatever we went through, this baptism of 2020, and it's ready now to open up to the new. So deep bow to you and whatever you went through this last, spring to spring of 2020 to 2021. We all went through some really deep, heavy shit, and we're coming out of it now. So much love to you, love and service, and keep going. All right. Just follow the light.